everybody, it's Doug here. Doug Mystic Guy on Board Game Geek. Just getting ready to do a second turn, or next turn of Return of the Heroes, a old adventure game that I had pulled off the dusty shelves to share with you guys. See if something you might like. You can probably still find this out there somewhere. Anyway, I did have one correction as we move into our next turn. I'll just cover that very quickly. And then it's not really a correction, it's just when I did the last video I accidentally left this piece out at the very end, which was the turn of our dwarven hero, Grow Frosthammer. He did take a second turn and ended up here, where I have him placed, but I did want to share with you that that was a bad move for him, because to get to to get into over to here, he's going to have to go all the way back around. There's no way to get there that way, or he can go to the teleporter and see if he can use that. The teleporter that he drew that is up here. But that being said, we're going to get to our first turn, which is actually going to be Aegon's Stormblade, our fighter. So let's get started. So there's Aegon at the top of the screen. You can see he's still got his experience point, and he's got a task he's trying to accomplish, which is to escort the White Stag to Benedict's clearing, which we're heading toward now, which is at P6. We're working our way there, and he's got quite a ways to go. But let's go to the board and see how much closer we can get. Okay, well here he is. This is where Aegon is. Now, he's the other person that's got a lot of movement, a 4. He has to go all the way across the board to get to this first destination. He probably is going to do this one on the way, which is his main objective. He needs to go to G, which he's not too far away from. So first thing he's going to do for his move is go 1, and remember he's got a movement of 4. There is a market there, but he doesn't have any money. So he doesn't want to start a market phase, which will be interesting when we do it, especially being that I'm the only player in 4. So you think this game is a cooperative game, and it's semi-cooperative, but it does have a competitive element where there is a winner. And also, these markets have a interesting competitive element as well. But anyway, that was his first move. His second move is going to take him into the town here, and for his third move, he's going right here where he will have an encounter. Oh, our first combat encounter. An orc. Now, I don't know if you have, yeah, you can probably see it clearly now. You can see that he has a 1 health and a -1 to magic. So of course we're not going to use our magic for our attack. We're going to use our strength, which is a 7. So he's going to fight the orc. Let's go over to the dice bowl and see if he can win. Just quickly, I did want to touch on the combat statistics again. So currently he's got 2 dice. He has to roll a 7 or less on 2 dice. Now, one of the advantages that you get from getting more dice is you get to pick 2 dice that you're rolling. So currently he's only got 2 dice. If he rolls over a 7, he's just out of luck. But we're going to see if we can get this done for him. Can Aegon defeat the orc? Let's see. He rolled an 8. That actually isn't going to result in him taking a wound and not defeating the orc. So let's go show you what happens there, and we'll continue on. Basically, all we do with this is we just take one of the beads off. Let's put it aside for now, signifying that he took a point of damage. That ends his turn. He did not defeat the orc. The orc's still there. He can fight it again next turn if he chooses to, or he can move along and ignore the orc as well. Anyway, that's why you want more dice, so you can have more choices and have a better chance of beating the enemy. Anyway, while we're here, we're looking at Sybil Spellsinger. She is got a couple of missions to go. She's got to go to H5. She's also got this one to buy a pair of boots and then turn them to 15. So she does want to try and get to a market as quickly as possible, but she is very far away from that. And she also has only a movement of 3. But let's go take her turn and see what she does. So she's got a whole bunch of things she needs to do. One of them is defeat the Firewalkers at this J8 space, which she's heading towards, but she's pretty far away from as far as movement opportunities are concerned. She's also got to get to H5 to find the crystal. So anyway, everything's over in that direction. She's just got to keep plugging away. I think she might head north to H. I don't know if she's going to head to H first to get the crystal, or head over toward her mission objective. I think she's going to head northwards. It's actually would end up perhaps even being a little shorter well, with a lot of encounters in between, a little shorter for her to go that way. But let's take a look. So here she is. If she could go this way, and I'm going to try and, as you can see, it's going to wrap all the way around up in here. She's got a long way to go. It's actually more of a direct route to go up this way, but so she's going to move 1 back to her house. Of course, she's not going to stop there. 2, and then 3 to space 10. That's going to end her movement. But she also gets another encounter. Well, and it's another task. So it's B6, bring this message to the house in the woods. So she currently has 3 tasks. She's got quite a bit to do. And that ends her turn. But we're going to draw another tile from the bag, see what we get. Let's see what happens. A ranger is going to appear on I5. Let's see. Let me show you where that is. Okay, so here's I5. And basically, the ranger appears there to be encountered, and we now know he's there. But we're going to go on to Grow Frosthammer's turn. So let's do that next. Okay, here's Grow. Now, I was making a mistake in having a moon down here because it's really far for him to go. Unfortunately, he's only got a movement of 2. So, what is he going to do? He's going to go to space 9, space 8. He's going to cut around that way, but that is going to be his entire turn. So next we're going to move on to Eleanor, the elf. So Eleanor's right here. She also has a couple of tasks to do. She has to buy a magical staff, and she also needs to visit the capital, which is right in front of her. However, yeah, she's so for for her movement action, she's going to move there. She's going to turn in this visit the capital J5 where she's at task, which is going to give her a green experience and a gold piece. So let me show you what happens there. Okay, so first off we're going to give her 1 green experience cube, which is going to go here. She's going to turn in this task. She's also going to get a gold piece, which is giving her a decent amount of money to spend. And then this goes away, out of the game actually. Yeah, once you've done a task, it does go out of the game. But we are going to be drawing a new fun thing out of the bag. So it is the beggar again. So he is going to appear. Let's see, where does he? Oh, he's a random encounter. Yeah, I don't remember how he works. So let me look at this for a moment. I may have made a mistake putting him in the bag. I don't know if he goes back there or not. Okay, so basically when we draw something like that, we get to place it face down anywhere we want on the board where it makes sense. In other words, coordinates where it can be placed down or where it should be placed down. So I think we're just going to drop right down here. We're going to place it on space 2 right there. Why not? That's where the beggar's going to go. Okay, so that ends Eleanor's turn. That's a full cycle. So we're going to do another cycle of turns, starting with, again, Stormblade again, up a little north. So let's get to him. Nope, I kind of want this this orc here because he's going to give us an experience point, which will give us 3 dice, make it easier for us to fight the monsters that we have to face coming up. So he's going to stay there and actually try and fight the orc again. Let's see if he can do it. He already suffered injury at the hands of the brutal orc. He's got 2 dice. He needs to roll less than a 7. He did, or 7 or less, and he did exactly. So he defeats the orc with a 7. That's going to give him another experience point, which he will be able to place in his combat ability, which will give him 3 dice to roll next time. Okay, so we're going to give him another combat experience point that's going to go right here. You notice that is under the die there, so that now means that signifies that we get to add that extra die on when he's in combat. But he also defeated the orc, which means a couple of things. One, we're going to take this orc out of the game, and he got his experience point, well, not out of the game, but into the bag, as soon as, because I made this mistake last time with the beggar, as soon as we draw another guy out of the bag. So let's go back to the table and do that. Okay, so let's draw out our next tile out of the bag. What do we get? We get an interesting encounter, Daphne. Okay, that's helpful because that is somebody we have to save. Yes, we get a free Daphne. That's going to go in O2. So now she is out and available for us to rescue once we get that key. That is awesome. And I'll show you where O2 is in just a second. Okay, down here at the bottom is O2. See the jail right there with her in it? So there she is, ready to be rescued by our our awesome hero, and then that is again Aegon Stormblade's quest that he's got to do. He's got to get the silver key first, and he's on his way to do that. So that's awesome. Now we're going to go to Sybil Spellslinger. So here's Sybil. She's actually heading northward to the crystal, which is one of the things that she has a task for. So it says find the crystal. She gains a coin when she does, and then she brings the crystal to the elves to gain an item. So she is going to head north. She's got 3 movement points. So she goes 1, 2, oh yeah, she's going to take a boat next turn, and 3. So that's really all she's going to do this turn, is head up that way as she's traveling across the land. Now we're going to go to Grow Frosthammer. He will have an encounter this turn. Okay, here's Grow up here at the top of the table. He's just going to move right here where he's going to encounter something. Let's see, what does he encounter? A mystic. -1 coin. He can choose 1 counter from the bag. I don't know. He'll leave it there. He's not going to encounter her either. That doesn't seem all that useful to spend his money on. He's got more important things to spend money on than a mystic. He's running into all these magical encounters that he's not interested in. But anyway, that will end. Well, actually, 1, 2. Yeah, that ended his turn. So because he's only got a 2 movement. He needs to get some better movement going on. I think a visit to the market will be important for him as well. But now we're going to move on to Eleanor the elf. Eleanor in the capital. Now she still does need to go. She's heading toward the market because she's got 2 other things. One is to visit the lizard people, which are, well, she's pretty close to that as well. Or she can continue. She can go that way to the lizard to encounter the lizard people. Or she can go northward to head to the market and try and see if she can buy that staff. And then take it to the boat, which is actually on the way. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So, if she wants to go to get the market, it's 1 tile up that way to try and get the magic staff. And then if she goes over to this direction, she can head toward that boat dock right there. But I mean, it's quite a trip for her, but it takes her on her way through her mission, her main mission. So I think what she's going to do is she's going to move up here, and of course there's a token there. So she's going to encounter it, and it is a giant. Oh my gosh. Wow. She will have to encounter that. It is a combat encounter. Let's see what we have to do there. So here's the problem with this guy. He's really nasty for us. We can't use archery. You notice it's not listed there. And he's -1 magic. So her best stat she can't use, her stat of 7. She can do the magic, but it's -1, meaning that she's got to roll a 3 on 2 dice. But that's the way it goes. She's going to have to do the combat encounter with the giant. So let's go to the dice bowl and see what we can do. So first, just letting you know what I'm talking about. See, her magic is a 4, and the giant has a -1 here. It has no marker for that, so she can't use it in this fight at all. And that's only a 2, and his stat is a strength -2, so she would have no chance there. So the only thing she can really do at this point is take a shot at him with magic for a 3. She needs to roll 3, so it's going to be pretty rough. Okay, let's see what she can do. Oh, so close. A 4. Actually, see, if she didn't have that minus, she would have made it, but she did not. So she's going to lose a health and continue on from there. Here she is. She's dropped another health off, and the giant remains there in that square just north of the capital city. And that is going to end another turn, another full round for us. So I don't think this has gone on very long, so I think I'm going to continue on, do one more, see where we can get, and I'm going to go back to Aegon Stormblade and have him trek along. So here's Aegon. He's heading down to combat this ghoul here to get the key. It does have a strength -1, which means he'll need a 6 or less instead of 7, but he does get to roll 3 dice. And that is on space 9. He will get there because he's got high movement, so he's going to go 1, 2, and he's going to encounter this creature. So he normally has a 7 or less on 2 dice, and with the modifier of the creature, it's going to be a 6, and he gets to roll 3 dice against the creature. So let's see if he can pull it off. Okay, so you can see him up top here. That's it, what I'm talking about, a stat of 7. He's got enough experience points to give him 3 dice, and the ghoul is -1 to his strength attack, his combat attack. So let's roll it. Now here's where the advantage of 3 dice comes in, because he gets to pick the 2 lowest, and he needs a 6. So see, look, he got a 6, a 2, and a 2, so he picks the 2 lowest. He's got a 4, which means he won and defeated the ghoul. So let's go back to the ghoul and see what happens there. Okay, well, so first off, let's take the ghoul counter and take a look at it. We're going to take the obvious piece first. He's going to get a gold piece added on. That's good because he had spent his one and only gold piece on the beggar. So we're going to add that to his board. And then secondly, he's going to get another skill cube, which obviously we're going to keep pumping that up in his combat. So we're going to go to his board now and show you what happens at the end of this combat here. Okay, so this ghoul does not go back to the bag as a normal monster would. He's a special monster. He does get flipped over to where we show the key, and we show that we have to use the key to rescue Daphne at space 02. So this is now going to go right here on his board. He has the key, but he also got this experience point from the ghoul when he defeated it, and he's actually doing quite well for us. And so that basically is his turn. He was able to start get the first part of his mission. Now there's something else that's going to happen right now that I need to contend with, and I'll share that with you in our next clip. Okay, so when a player when any player finishes the first part of his or her heroic deed, we get to add the nameless into the bag to be drawn. Now if he does get drawn, he goes on that castle space I showed you, H, where his tower is. So basically he's going to go into the bag to be drawn, and there's not that many tokens left in there because there's a lot of them on the table still. So there's a pretty good chance that he's going to be populating the board pretty soon, and when he does, he brings minions along with him. But anyway, that's going to end Aegon's Stormblade's turn. That was a pretty good turn for him. Now we're going to go on to Sybil Spellslinger. Okay, here's Sybil. She's still working her way north. She's going to take this boat across to here, and then up to here for 2 out of her 3 movement, where she's going to have this encounter. And it is now we're starting to get to the monsters. Now, she can, just like our elf friend, she cannot use her best ability with this creature. She's probably going to lose a life point to this harpy, because as you can see with the harpy, it's a -2 strength, which would put her at a 1, or a -2 ranged, which would put her at a 2. So she needs to roll a 2 or less on 2 dice, and she's got no other abilities that can help her. So let's go to the dice bowl and do that. She's highly unlikely to be able to beat this encounter. Just showing you what I'm talking about. You see that you saw the modifiers on the monster. She can't use magic at all because it's not listed on the monster's card. She can only use these 2 traits. This one's going to be at a -2, meaning she can't do it on 2 dice, and this one is going to be a -1, meaning she's going to need snake eyes just to defeat it. So she's probably going to get hurt here, but let's roll and see. Okay, let's roll and see what she does. Oh, so close. Look at that. Not a bummer. I've done that a couple times now, but this still results in her getting a point of damage. So let's go to her back to her board. Here she is at the top of the screen, so she loses one of her health beads. Now they can always go back to their house to heal up, and she's not that far away from it. Maybe she does that. I don't know. We'll see. But she's only got 1 hit left, so we got to be a little careful. Anyway, that is going to be her turn. She stops there with the harpy. Now she can ignore it next turn and continue on. But let's go on to Gru, Frosthammer, our dwarf. So Gru, way up there at the northern part, is kind of bummed out. He's been having all these encounters that aren't helpful to him at all, and not getting him to his goal of getting to the candlestick. But he's getting closer to the candlestick maker, so he's going to simply bypass the mystic and go 1, 2 as he heads down to here to the candlestick maker. It's just taking him a heck of a long time to get there. That's going to be his whole turn, so that's it for him. Okay, here we are with Eleanor. Now, obviously, she's not going to continue to fight this giant. So what she's going to do with her 4 movement is go 1, 2, 3, and encounter the market space right here. So now we're going to go on to something interesting in the game, and I'll show you what happens. So when you draw market space, you draw 3 market counters. Now the players now get to barter. So I'll show you how it works when we draw the tiles out. But basically, she's the market. She's selling these items to the other people, except for the one that she chooses to buy, and she gets to choose first. So we're going to go draw those tiles and see what happens there in the market. Okay, here are our market tiles. So we're just gonna, I'll just split them, and we'll draw 1, a bow, 2, magic staff, and 3, scroll of lightning. Okay, so you notice that they all cost two gold. So with her starting, she gets to choose first. Now she did need a magic staff, right, to complete her her quest. So she is going to spend her 2 gold. Boom. And she's going to pick up this magic staff, and the wizard's going, oh, bummer, I would have loved to have that. Okay, and that's basically going to go on her board as an item for now until she delivers it. So let me think about what the other 2 folks want to do, because these are the other 2 items that are available. Okay, so she's going to put up the lightning scroll second, which would give somebody a, what does it say, a temporary +9, or temporary 9 or less on a magical attack, 1 time only. That's going to cost 2 gold. Well, Sybil says, yeah, I definitely want that, so she's going to buy it for 2 gold. And Eleanor, she can choose to who she sells to, chooses to sell it to her. So Sybil does lose 2 gold, but one of these goes as a commission to Eleanor, and the other one goes back into the pile. So Sybil has gained this item in the market, but on a market day, but also had to pay for it. And then last but not least is our, well, we have our dwarf hero and our fighter. Our fighter says, I don't have the money to do that. And our dwarf hero, yeah, he can do it, but why? He's got a 5. You know, this bow is not such a bad thing for him if Eleanor agrees to sell it to him, and she does. It's going to give him +1. Yeah, a +1 to his archery attack, which would make it equal to his combat right now. That's pretty good. So he is going to do the same thing. He spends 2 of his gold, one of which goes as a commission to Eleanor for the sale, and then our dwarf gets to place this item in his item pool. So now he has a +1 chance to hit with bows as well. Makes him a little tougher. And that is basically going to end Eleanor's turn. Okay, so the next thing that happens is we take the market off the board. Now, we're going to draw a new tile out first and put the market back into the bag to come out later, and that's kind of how the market gets controlled. So what do we get? We got Don Hobiro on F7. He's a combat instructor, so that's pretty good. He can actually make people a bit tougher. And he is going to be right down here. It's interesting, they show this archery range. Ooh, does he teach archery? Oh, yeah, so we know where Eleanor is going next, I think, on her way down to the lizard, back down to the lizard people. And then, of course, we take the market and we put it back into the bag to come out later. So that is, again, another 2 full rounds of Return of the Heroes. I hope you're enjoying it, and we'll see you next time for our 3rd episode, where, you know, we're starting to get some. We already got the bad guy in the bag, which means he'll be coming out soon to encounter us, and we got a lot of encounters and other things left to do on the board as we travel around the realm with our heroes, trying to regain the honorable name of our family and confront the evil villain, which is the Shadow. So see you next time, and I hope you're enjoying it. Talk to you soon.